Hello there, Taylor with the Armageddon Report. Here's what's going on in the land of cyclones, typhoons, and hurricanes. So let's take a look at the Northwest Pacific first. Let's take a look at the one that's not scheduled really to affect anybody, at least as of now. We've got tropical... Actually, the JTWC is calling this Tropical Storm 13. The JMA is still calling it Tropical Depression 13. And if you want to know why, it's because the scale's different, so differ. So apparently 13 is somewhere in this grey area, so that's why it's Tropical Storm per the JTWC and then a Tropical Depression per the JMA. So that's that storm over there. We've got this storm, which is Tropical Storm Haikui, which is the Chinese word for sea anemone, so you just say Tropical Storm Anemone. And if we go on back over here, Eastern Pacific, 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. And then, of course, we've got Tropical Storm Ernesto, definitely going to have some land impacts there. And also, Ernesto is still predicted to become a Category 1 hurricane. However, originally it was supposed to become a Category 1 hurricane, like somewhere out here. So Ernesto has tapered off somewhat. And then we've got Tropical Storm Florence back here. So, spaghetti models wise, if you go to, for instance, here, and you click on this, and then you click on that, that's a whole lot of steps, isn't it? So, here's the spaghetti models from the latest run, but here's what I've learnt, is that the GFS ensemble goes out much, it would be what, further into the future, since it's not a literal distance, anyway, up to as much as 240 hours in the future, and the problem is, you know, they run, like, some of the spaghetti model projections or whatever, I guess, take a lot less computing time to run. So there's the stuff that's always there, and then the stuff that goes further out into the future takes a lot longer to run. So, you know, that's why you don't see the 240-hour stuff hardly ever on Cyclocane, because right now, it just only tracks what's in the latest run. So there's still, like, the 240-hour data from the previous stuff. Anyway, the reason I bring this up, here is the spaghetti model thing. So most of, as of this most recent GFS ensemble track guidance, most of them showing, well actually pretty much all of them showing Mexico. Originally there were a few still showing Texas as being potentially impacted, but now they're not showing that at all. So, and what I want to do and will implement in the future is, now that I know that, I'm going to figure out how to get that GFS ensemble stuff as part of the map, and maybe put it as a different thing, I don't know. By the way, there's the early cycle track guidance, so that's the type of things you'd see, you know, pretty much the same thing as that, where, you know, it's the stuff that took the shortest computing time to run or whatnot. So, anyway, with that, that is Ernesto. So Ernesto, apparently not at the moment a threat to the United States, however, things change all the time, and of course that's why you should pay attention. And then we've got Florence. So now I can actually talk about, well, Florence at the United States, and as of, you know, it's just a predictive art anyway, but as of now, it's looking like Florence would not have much of an impact to the United States. So that's good, you know, but things can change, obviously. That's why you pay attention, especially when it's that far out into the future. Right. So, moving on to whatever this is. Alright, it's a hazards map, whatever this is, I don't know. Red flag warnings up here, so that'd be the fire thing, where, you know, conditions are favorable for if a fire gets set, it can spread quite quickly. We've got excessive heat warnings over here, right? I can never tell what the colors are, right? Excessive heat warning, so that'd be like temperatures that are quite miserable. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm watch up there. We've still got some heat lingering over in here. This would be heat advisory, whereas the past few days it's been like this huge clump of stuff that was both heat advisories, excessive heat warnings, and the red flag warnings, of course, where there's been, you know, the wildfire situation in Oklahoma. Severe thunderstorm news today. We've got as high as a 30% chance of winds, 15% chance of hail, just a 2% chance of a tornado. And to again go over the New York severe thunderstorm watch that was on this map, see, so that's what those colors are, and so that's in effect till 7 p.m. EDT this evening. So wind wise, the biggest threat is apparently New York. So what you could say with that, what does a 30% chance mean? That means if you picked a random point in this red area in New York, that means there's nearly a 1 in 3 chance that that point or someone within a 25-mile radius of them will see a severe wind event. So that would be 58 miles per hour and greater. So the same thing applies. So that means 15% chance at that point in Tennessee or a random point in 25 miles. In the 25-mile radius of it would see a severe wind event. And then back here in Oregon and California, how about that? They've got a 5%. So hail-wise, hail not in the same, not as big of a threat for the same area where the biggest threat for wind was. So it's down here, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi with a 15% chance. So severe hail would be 1 inch or larger. A tornado, that's all, is a severe weather event. So that's what that means. So New York again, so basically where, pretty much overlaps with where the highest threat for wind is, that's where the highest threat for tornadoes are. And of course the highest threat being 2% today. Whereas like a tornado outbreak, you'd see like 45. You'd see 30, 45% on the map. I don't think I've ever seen a 60. I don't think it's ever gone that high, even though it's on this color label thing. Tomorrow tapers off, so who knows what any of that means. There's the probability map though for tomorrow, so 5% there, 5% down there. And then day 3, a really confusing map. I still haven't fixed that. So day 3's probability map, 5% chance there, 5% over there. And then days 4 through 8, predictability, 2 lows. So that means there is some sort of severe weather expected in days 4 through 8, but timing and the location not yet certain enough. Righto. SevereWeatherTV.com is the official homepage of this screencast. How about that? And you can go get the old screencast there. You can get drought information and be all depressed because, 80% of the country is either dry or officially in a drought. However, some areas going to expect improvement in the next 3 months. Right, so that's not like it'll be overnight. What we need though, hurricane. A land cane that just hangs out and drops water everywhere. And then you'd have a different problem with flooding, but hey, then the drought would be resolved. So, 6 or 1/2 dozen of the others, something, I don't know. WickedWix is WICKEDWX.com. You can also go to weather.gov, Storm Prediction Center for your severe thunderstorm news. Cyclocane is CYCLOCANE.com. You can also scroll down to the bottom if you're already here. National Hurricane Center, Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and a mirror if you're outside of the United States. And then Japan Meteorological Agency, or of course, whatever your RSMC is. Right there. So that is it for today. Hopefully you enjoy what's left of the wonderful weekend.